Good morning everyone. Yesterday we had discussed about Jallianwala Bagh, right? Today we'll be discussing about what was the need for a mass revolution. Why India required a mass revolution to bring about the change. While the Rowlatt Satyagraha had been a widespread movement, it was still limited to mostly cities and towns. Mahatma Gandhi now felt the need to launch a more broad-based movement in India, means where where everyone should be a part of that movement. The Satyagraha movement, right? It saw participation only from cities and towns, but rural area was left untouched. And Mahatma Gandhi felt that if we are looking for a change, a mass revolution should be there. And for a mass revolution, there should be participation by all. But he was certain that no such movement could be organized without bringing the Hindus and Muslims closer together. Now, these two communities, right? They have not gelled up. They were not, they were not on good terms even in the past, and they're not even good terms even in the present. So Mahatma Gandhi wanted to bring these two communities together because Britishers have divided these two communities, right? The best policy of Britishers, divide and rule, right? So it has taken an advantage of these things, right? It has divided both the communities. It has widened the gap between the communities, and that is why it was a bit difficult to bring these two communities together. But Mahatma Gandhi, who wanted to bring a change in the society, he said that if we are looking for a mass change, we'll have to first bring Hindus and Muslims together. One way of doing this, he felt, was to take up the Khilafat issue, right? Now, Mahatma Gandhi was about to launch your non cooperation movement because he felt that once the Indians, they stopped cooperating with the the British dominance will itself fall, right? Because he believed that Britishers have been able to establish themselves in India only with the cooperation of Indians. If the Indians will not cooperate, Britishers will not be able to survive in India. So the First World War had ended with the defeat of Ottoman Turkey, and there were rumors that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor, the spiritual head of the Islamic Khilafat. Now, all of you, if you remember your chapter from the rise of nationalism in Europe, Greece was a part of Ottoman Empire, right? And Greece finally gained independence. Now, after the First World War, when the Ottoman Empire was defeated, right? When the Ottoman Empire, which included Turkey, when it got defeated in the First World War, there were rumors that the main emperor of the Ottoman Empire and also the spiritual head of the Islamic world, the Khalifa, he was about to be imprisoned. To defend the Khalifa's temporal power, a Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in March 1990. Now, the Muslims, right, who were living in different parts of the world as a revolt, right, the Muslims who were living in different parts of the world, and wherever these Britishers were there, these Britishers began to revolt against the people, the Muslims began to revolt against the Britishers, right? And a similar kind of, you can say, a similar kind of a struggle, a similar kind of movement was going on in India as well. A young generation of Muslim leaders like the brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali began discussing with Mahatma Gandhi about the possibility of a united mass action on the issue. Gandhiji saw this as an opportunity to bring Muslims under the umbrella of a united national movement. at the Calcutta session of the Congress in September 1920. He convinced other leaders of the need to start a non cooperation movement in support of Khilafat as well as for Swaraj. Now, class, what you will do is you will go through these slides once again. Go thoroughly through these slides, right? Whatever I have taught you till now, go through it, go through these slides. If any kind of query is there, you are free to ask me on your WhatsApp group. Thank you.